Good morning, Softball America. As I turn down the music, I say hello. Gray Robertson alongside Tara Henry. It is Survival Sunday here at the Women's College World Series. We've got two elimination games coming up. We had two pretty darn epic games yesterday that we will discuss. We are, I think this is the only show where we will be separate this week. Tara, you are beautifully seated in front of some burgundy maroon curtains in an undisclosed bunker in OKC. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Good morning, everybody. I can't believe we're already here. Is it Sunday? I just was trying to remember what day it is. Is it Saturday?
Sunday, as Grace
It's
Johnson would
Sunday.
say, day four.
Day four.
Day four.
And what a day it was yesterday. Honestly, Gray, I feel like we've had just incredible games all, Women's College World Series long. And I just have a feeling they're only going to get better.
The bar is high. I will say that. I mean, we're going to talk about the games that are coming up tonight in just a little bit because, like I said, Survival Sunday, like today is the day where seasons are fully on the line, where you've got four teams scratching and clawing to do everything they can to keep wearing that jersey again this year. But we have to start, Tara, with the games yesterday. And, Nicole and I yesterday were talking about the excitement of ABC Day and how cool it is that the World Series is on ABC yet again. Gonna be honest, there's not a super strong track record of great softball games being played on ABC Day. Some of them in the past have gotten a little squirrely, a little sideways. Not the case yesterday with Texas, Oklahoma. It was a pretty close to an instant classic, just great softball, first through the seventh inning, and Texas finally gets the monkey off their back and wins 4-2 over the Sooners.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with you, Gray. We're always wondering what type of a game we're going to get. But before we even get into that, I just want everybody to let us know where they're tuning in from. I don't know if people are just waking up or just getting on social media, but would love to see where you're tuning in from in the chat. And if you're over on YouTube, please make sure that you like and subscribe over there on YouTube. If you're on X, head on over to YouTube. So let us know where you're tuning in from this morning and would love to make sure that we're getting everybody some love. But yes, great. In terms of this matchup, I think we were all wondering what Texas team was going to show up yesterday. And boy, were they impressive. And it all started in the circle with Tegan Kavan. And, uh, nobody knew that her grandma had passed that morning. Her grandmother had passed that morning, but I was just so impressed with her ability to not only deal with that news, but she was so good yesterday, Gray. And when I say what she was throwing in with pinpoint accuracy where she needed to throw it. She was in the river. She was on both sides of the plate. She was not missing middle, which we had seen before, and you and I had talked about this. And again, just a masterful day in the circle, holding down an Oklahoma offense that prides themselves in their ability to make adjustments, not only at bat, but in at bat adjustments. And she just made it really, really difficult. And head coach Patty Gasso, she commended Kavan in the post game press conference, saying, she was just carving the batters up, and they were frustrated. And it's rare that we see an Oklahoma offense frustrated in that manner. And I just got to give all the credit to Tegan Kavan and Reese Atwood behind the dish there in their ability to really hold down that offense. And it was just, again, and we can go through it, but I think that Texas team was ready to play, and there was a lot of emotion. I noticed that they were really, really supportive of Kavan in the circle, and that infield doesn't talk like that normally, or they hadn't done so all season long. I think in the postseason we've seen a little bit more of it, but they were so supportive, and I think that had a lot to do with that courage that they gave her in the circle. And again, you said it, Texas getting that monkey off their back and getting the win over OU at the Women's College World Series just was really, really impressed with our first game of the day yesterday.
Yeah, I want to really commend Tegan for her strength emotionally. I I think I've told this story a little bit, but when Alabama played Georgia back in March, my grandmother passed away that Saturday night before Game 3, and when I woke up the next day, I like did not want to go to work. I did not want to talk about softball, and I went, and it was hard, and that was just talking about it. I can't even imagine throwing the biggest game of your life up to that point with that kind of emotional weight on your shoulders like that, the strength to do that. Jolie Mitchell said in the post game presser that Tegan Kavan was her hero, and I couldn't agree more with that sentiment. It was special, and in the seventh inning, I was getting all the same text, Tara. OU gets 2 on, 1 out, and I'm getting the we know what happens. We know what's about to go down. And then Tegan got those 2 strikeouts, and it seemed in that moment like she was just getting a boost from somewhere. And then we found out where that boost was coming from. And it was one of those like really special World Series moments, one of those behind the curtain things you don't know until they tell you, that was very, very impressive. So major props to Tegan Kavan for performing the way that she did, because that had to have been the hardest thing. I know she said, it's just a game, but that had to have been the hardest thing she's done in a very long time in her life. And it was beyond impressive the way she pitched, the way she mixed the off speeds. She threw a couple very timely changeups and off speed pitches, I thought, that were really, really effective. And it was a gutsy, gritty, brilliant performance. One of the best I've seen at the World Series in years by a pitcher.
Yeah, and for those of you that haven't seen this yet, I know Brady clipped all of her strikeouts, and those are up on X and probably up on the site as well in an article that was written by Brady. And I think you saw she went up in the zone, so she used the rise. She used the rise early, and then Coach Cadiasso said they were looking at rise, and then she went down in the zone and was able to mix speeds and obviously mix eye levels. And I think that she really kept that offense guessing. But again, Jolie Mitchell going yard again. Her goal was to hit a home run. Now she got another one. What is that? 3 now at the Women's
3.
College World Series. She's
Pretty
got
good.
3. And yeah, Caden Henry, first pitch home run too. That one straight over to the right field fence. She pulled that ball. So just a solid all around performance. The defense as well showed up, and even when there was a little miscue, they didn't they stopped the bleeding. And I think that's another thing I was really impressed with. As we say, we know defense wins championships, so you're going to make a miscue, but how you respond and how you deal with that, it was huge. And again, Texas in the driver's seat we'll see what happens today. We'll get to those games on who they're going to play.
Yeah, just again, very impressive for Texas to finally figure it out, to fight through the moment. Again, it felt like OU was going to OU them, and they didn't. And a lot of credit to the Longhorns for accomplishing that and to having the day off. I mean, how fun. What a luxury just to get to chill on a Sunday and watch everybody else battle it out.
I know this new just schedule with the extra day off. Even I was thinking, I feel like 2 games a day isn't enough. I'm used to us having, 4 games, and there's only 2 today. And normally we'd be exhausted, but I'm thinking I want more than 2 games a day. This is just me as a fan and somebody watching it. We only have 2 today. When do we get to where we could potentially have 4 again? Like, I know Thursday was a lot, but I just think the more the merrier here. But yes, it is nice to have an off day.
It was weird last night to leave and the sun was still out, and we were all like, oh, okay, cool. The evening is here. That's fun. We can go get dinner and do things. How exciting. So more things happened. Like the ABC game was great. And let me tell you, Tara, I know you could feel it too. Like the building was buzzing pregame, during the game, and postgame. And as everybody was sitting around waiting for the nightcap, you could just feel the energy. And Nicole and I were talking in between games, and I was like, God, I don't know what Texas Tech UCLA can do to top what we just saw. I don't know if the game did, but the first run of the game might have, because Texas Tech takes down UCLA 3-1 in something that, in a way that I wasn't expecting, Tara, and I'm sure the speedster in you was just delighted and thrilled to see Texas Tech score the first run on a steal of home.
I mean, what a gutsy call. And yes, I mean, that's like a speedster's dream is to steal home. Not only at any point in your career, it is. And then to do it at the Women's College World Series to help propel your team to a 2-0, got 2-0 in the series and then have the day off. Jerry Glasgow, I mean, say what you want. That really got the momentum on Texas Tech's side. And he said in the presser, I just said you got to believe in me. Like I'll take this if it doesn't work, and it worked beautifully. The whole I'm still in shock about it, to be honest with you. I can't even believe what we saw. I really can't.
Me neither. I I think a lot of people probably did what I did, which was watch the pitch, and then I looked down because I was sitting there thinking, okay, where am I going to go for the very end of the game to get some content? And I was looking down at the UCLA alums to see who was here. Just I was looking on that side, and all of a sudden I see our friend Aaliyah Jordan and a lot. They're all pointing at the field. I'm like, well, what are they looking at? And then I look down and Garcia's already between the legs of the catcher. And it was brilliant. It was brave. Like to be that brave on that big a stage, coaches don't do that at the World Series. And Jerry Glasgow just threw caution to the wind. I thought it was the moment of the tournament so far, honestly. I mean, it won them the game. I think like that was the confidence piece that they needed to kind of supercharge the rest of the offense, because what they did after that like provided the cushion. UCLA answered to their credit, but that just kind of gave all the momentum to Texas Tech, and UCLA could just never wrestle it back from them.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the perfect kind of scenario with Michaela Garcia there and then Vic Valdez at the plate. She was standing perfectly to where you couldn't see the runner. And I think it was just, again, the perfect storm. And she slid right in between Lefty's legs. Like, the whole thing. And again, like you said, UCLA gained the momentum back on a Kanaya Bragg solo shot. But after that, you really just felt that Texas Tech had all the momentum, even with tying it up with a solo shot. And that all starts with Jerry. Jerry's aggressive. He's going to make things happen. And that's big part of it. And sometimes in these games, that's what you need, right? Like you've got to make a call and you got to be able to live with it. And I think that's what makes Jerry Glasgow such a great coach. He's unapologetic about it as well. Like he's like, we're going to do this. We're going to steal home. If it doesn't work, it's completely on me. And he's okay. And he can sleep at night. If it didn't work, he would come right into the press conference and he would say to everybody, yeah, it was me. I made that call, and I'm going to be the one that takes it. And so, and then obviously with Nyjah Kennedy in the circle, it's just going to be really, really difficult anytime they get a 1 or 2 run lead. So just wow. I think, Gray, if you would have said to me, Texas Tech's going to be in the semifinals of the Women's College World Series a year ago, like if we were, sitting where we are right now a year ago, I would, I said, you're crazy, right? Like there's no way. What a turnaround in 1 year,
I mean, again, this is, I don't want this to sound like a shot, but I sent this text. I was like, imagine if a year ago we were talking about Texas Tech currently being in the World Series semis and Oklahoma not being in the World Series semis. Like that, a year ago, that sentence does not make sense. But Nyjah changes things. Jerry Glasgow changes things. I loved how bold they were. I loved how brave they were. You have to do that in the postseason. You mentioned Nyjah. We haven't really talked about the performance, but man, she was so epic. And UCLA was swinging and missing so much. I mean, Nyjah was missing barrels from the first inning to the 7th inning. And honestly, the Kanaya Bragg home run, I don't know how she hit that. That was a pitch that was high and away that honestly probably should have been a foul ball 89 out of 100 times. Kanaya Bragg just got the barrel there and went with it, but that wasn't even a bad pitch. If I'm Nyjah, I'm like, well, okay, they got one. Like it was
yeah,
just, it was an A+ performance.
Yeah, she was selling out on the rise there, and that's when you think when your barrel finds the ball there, she's selling out on the rise. But I was actually really impressed with her off speed. I think
Mm,
Niger really working that off speed. It just makes it so difficult when that ball, like you said, that rise ball is jumping up and out of the zone, and then she's working that off speed as well. That is a pitch that is lethal if you're throwing 70 plus and able to then drop that change up in there for a strike and just disrupt a hitter's timing because again hitting is timing and anytime you're able to disrupt their timing and have elite stuff, gosh, it makes it so difficult. And Jennings with the pinch hit single as well. I think we're seeing Jerry really use a lot of his lineup and roster and not afraid to get people in and pitch hits situations, pinch running situations. So just a whole complete team effort by Texas Tech. And Taylor Tinsley did a nice job in the circle for
yeah.
the Bruins. It's tough when again you're facing a Najee Kennedy to score multiple runs. But hats off to Jerry Glasgow and the Red Raiders. So
Yeah.
impressive.
Before we get into a couple of the games coming up a little later, the chat broke for about 10 minutes for me, so I didn't see anything on screen. So I'm going to shout a couple of the people out after reading it on the phone who are tuning in. Teresa says, "Good morning, everybody." Let's see. We got Blades and Banter Pod tuning in from Tampa, Florida. Our buddy Fang got Terry and Gray on my big screen from the capital of Fang Nation. I'm all about this nickname. Sin, good morning, everyone. Tuning in from my flight out of Austin, Texas. Sin, if you're coming to OKC, hope you're gonna get here safely and get to watch some softball. James Fender, super chat.
Oh
We
yeah, my
love
chat's
that.
broken too. I was wondering. I was like, wow, they're really quiet today.
Uh-huh. It's Kristen watching from San Diego. Like oh, James sent me a super chat for coffee. Thank you, James. We got Jeff tuning in from Lawton, Oklahoma. Boomer, he says. So, yeah, that's good stuff. Very good stuff. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Tara, today is the day where seasons are going to come to an end for two more teams. You've already said goodbye to a gritty Rebel squad and a Florida team that didn't quite get where they wanted to here at this World Series, but had a phenomenal season in a lot of different ways. We're going to say goodbye to two more teams today. And the first game is again on ABC with Beth, Michelle
ABC
Smith,
Day. It's ABC Day times two
ABC Day
again.
Part Dos,
Yeah.
UCLA Tennessee. I mean, man, Tennessee has arrested Carlin Pickens. UCLA has Caitlin Terry, who didn't throw yesterday, did throw on Thursday in game one, but she's had a couple days rest. Here we go. Like, I think we could be in for another really, really good one on the big network here today, ABC.
Yeah, and I think we could see Caitlin Terry, but also Addison Fisher's there. I wouldn't be surprised. Keeps the ball down in the zone. Like when you get to this point, it does help to have somebody that keeps the ball down in the zone and the ball in the yard, right? Like it makes it a lot. Just so you know, I've got some. I gotta plug this in. Sorry.
You're fine.
If
I saw the
if I
flash.
miraculously yeah, if I miraculously go, it's just there's some batteries. She's gonna have to go grab this. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Fisher. But again, this is elimination Sunday. It's here, and they're playing for their lives right now, and I think that this is going to be a very different Pickens that the Bruins saw early in the year in
Mhm.
February when they knocked her out of the game, and a very different offense. I think this offense has matured, and we've seen them mature throughout this season. So this is going to be a fight today, and I'm not quite sure who we're going to see in the circle. Maybe I think Terry, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a pitch by committee approach. But I think Terry's a good bet, or potentially Addison Fisher as well. But the Bruins are that top of the lineup is going to have to go. We're going to have to see more production out of Grant and Woolery. I think Niger did a really nice job holding them down yesterday. So those two, it's going to be really, really important for them to have good at bats. And to be honest, Gray, their at bats against Niger were solid. Like there were some solid at bats throughout that lineup. It's just really, really hard to score runs off of Niger Kennedy, especially when there's runners in scoring position. She kind of goes to another level. But the Bruins are going to have to see some production, I think, out of both Woolery and Grant. And then Tennessee side, I can't wait to see the lineup. I feel like Karen's going to surprise us again, and we're going to see a different lineup. I just every time it's something new, and so for me that's exciting. And obviously we're going to get Carlin, I think, in the circle and see her up against this offense, which she faced earlier in the season, and it's going to be a little bit of redemption for Pickens.
Yeah, a really big opportunity for Tennessee. To Elijah's question, Fisher has not played in a game yet, so you want to talk about a rested pitcher. Like she's ready to go, I'm sure, for any appearance needed here today. And every coach knows when it's a day like this, when the season's on the line, it's all hands on deck. So expect if there's an ounce of trouble on the UCLA side, especially, to see some quick changes, knowing what's on the line and knowing the three arms that they have. Also, to Fang's point, we talked about this a lot on Out of the Box. Tennessee's team batting average is significantly lower against lefty pitchers. So that's kind of where I go when I'm thinking about who UCLA should throw. It should be Terry. But at the same time, Tennessee, like, man, they looked so good against Florida. They looked angry. And to your point, Coach Weekly last year in Super switched the lineup up. We saw it when Tom and I were up there, and those moves didn't work. I feel like every button she's pressed here this postseason has worked to perfection. Going with both Leaches in the game against Florida worked out. I mean, it just seems like she has been able to put the right puzzle pieces in the right spot all throughout this NCAA tournament. So whatever shift she goes with today, I'm inclined to think it's going to work out until I see evidence of the contrary.
Yeah, I agree with you, Gray. I think that they just had been really thoughtful and really cognizant of how they move these pieces around and really looking at the data and the numbers and who's had success. So I think that's another key point, like you just said, their lack of success against lefties. I bet you they're looking at film and data right now, finding who has success against lefties. And we might see a shift in that lineup today. But what a game to start us off. Again, like every single game that we previewed or had, it's just been an epic matchup. Like I don't know if it's just because we're here, but I can't remember this many exciting and close games in a Women's College World Series thus far. But maybe just because we're here and it's, the Women's College World Series has there's this, I'm not going to say bubble, but there's this world of Women's College World Series that we're now in, like, and everything is great and grand.
I don't know. I kind of think it is awesome, and you're right. But like, it's kind of fantastic. It's been really fun, and it's kind of the first year in a while. And we'll talk about Oklahoma and Oregon in a second, but it's the first year in a while where I genuinely don't know what's going to happen. In a minute, we're going to make predictions and say, oh, here's what we think will go down today. I don't know. And neither do you, viewer at home. Like, that's what's made this year so fun. We have gone each week with new number ones, shifts in the top five, different storylines each and every week. And that has played out in the postseason, and it's still playing out here in OKC. That's why this season has been one of the most enjoyable to cover from an entertainment standpoint, because I don't know, day in and day out, I'm not quite sure what I'm getting, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and again, we've like you said, we've seen new number ones each week. We've seen upsets. We've seen parity across the country, and that's why it's so exciting to be a part of women's sports, exciting to be a part of women's softball. And I can't wait for the number from the ABC game yesterday from Texas OU in terms of viewership number, because I think it's going to be big.
Yeah.
That I don't know if it's out yet. Have they put it out yet?
I will. I think Grace will check. Are you checking? Yeah, Grace is going to check. I got to think it's over 1 million. Got to think. Has to be, right?
Oh yeah, I think
it was too good a game.
Yeah, probably more than that. It's got to be more than 1 million.
Yeah.
I'm going more. I'm taking the over. I don't know what the chat's taking, but I'm taking the over on 1 million.
All right, we'll see. Grace is looking. While Grace investigates, we will turn to one of the teams that was a part of the ABC game yesterday, who's now in the losers bracket, Oklahoma against Oregon. Storylines abound here, Tara. I loved what Patty Gasso had to say in the post-game presser about facing Coach Lombardi, her compatriot, her longtime friend, one of her sisters, basically, is what she said in the presser. It's going to be a fun reunion. This is, again, though, a game where we saw Texas yesterday speed up Oklahoma a little bit. more than I
Yeah.
thought they would. You got to think the Ducks are going to try and do that today with all their speed and the way that they take extra bases and run like heck.
Well, and you saw Texas just again single anybody with speed. They were stealing on Emmerling, and I think that we're going to see a team that loves to steal. I think we're going to see the Ducks run. If they get on base, I think we're going to see the Ducks run a lot, and I think they're going to try and cause a lot of havoc. Now, Patagasso's defense is always so solid, but it is going to be a matchup there to keep an eye on, and how much Oregon runs when they get on base is going to be key. And are they stealing on first pitch? Is it second pitch, or are they doing a first and thirds every time? If it happens, I think they will, and I think that's going to be the key to Oregon success. Obviously, can hit the long ball, but it starts in a circle with probably Grind and Landry,
Yeah.
and that's going to be how that's going to be the matchup. Can Landry continue to toe the rubber for the Sooners? Is there some fatigue there? Like that, she's thrown a lot of innings this season. I don't have her inning count up right in front of me, but not only a lot of innings, there's just that's a lot of emotion and a lot of just energy that she's carrying that load. So it's gonna, and same with Grind. I think Grind has the most innings in number one in all of the NCAA. So between Grind and Landry, those two have carried and shouldered most of the innings for both of their teams, and it's going to be, who's got that grit and who can come out and really just dig deep and come from within. Because, like I said, they both. What is Grind at? I know she's number one now in the NCAA in terms of innings, but it's going to all start there. And like you said, Coach Gasso spoke about her relationship with Missy Lombardi, and if it wasn't going to be the Sooners, she wanted it to be the Ducks, and she was so clear about it. Like she was like so matter of fact. She's like, "If it's not us, I want it to be Oregon." And like straight, like just so matter of fact, like if we don't win, I want it to be Oregon. I'm like, okay, Coach Gasso. She's calling it, she's saying it. But it's the second game of the day, and I'm gonna take the Sooners, but we'll see.
I'm pulling
We'll
up
see if
Lindsey
the
Grine.
I know I was trying to give you some more time. That's why I
I
just
know I'm
kept talking.
trying.
Somebody in the chat's got to have Grind's actual innings. I'm just trying to conserve battery here because
Yeah, 186 and a third this year.
yeah,
It's top 25. I think she's up there in appearances. Let me look. Maybe pitching appearances. Yep, number one in appearances, 52. 52. She has pitched in 52 games
yeah.
this year. And you know what? You know what that means when you're not starting and you're coming in as a reliever? That's a lot of emotional innings, a lot of high pressure innings. How many I mean, shoot. Oregon, she probably didn't throw like 20 pitches the other night against Ole Miss, and every moment of that game was high pressure.
Big.
So it's going to be interesting to see how she reacts. I love her fire. It was very fun to watch her pitch the other night against the Rebels, especially in the latter innings when she was delivering some of those key strikeouts. But it's OU after that kind of loss is going to be hard. I tend to think that they're going to come out with their hair on fire. There was a lot of unnecessary chatter on social media last night about that game, and people, I
Really?
don't agree. Oh yeah, I don't agree with some of the things people were saying, and I wouldn't be shocked if Oklahoma kind of rolls into this with a chip on their shoulder after the way yesterday went and makes a statement early in this game against Oregon.
Yeah. Again, I don't know how much they look at social media, the team that itself. I don't think it's a ton that they actually look at it. So, and again, I don't think that they're motivated. They have external motivation. I think it's internal and within. But I think they themselves were not happy, obviously, with their performance against Texas. So I think that is going to be something that they internally, as the Sooners, come back out and are going to be really, really aggressive and smart. aggressive but smart. I think they were swinging out of the zone a lot on
Yeah.
Kavan. So I think getting their pitch to hit. But somebody said that they think Kirsten Deal's going to start today in the chat, potentially. I just don't see how you do it, but maybe.
Yeah. I can't. I mean, so it was interesting the other day. Nicole and I were going up to record something, and we passed Michelle Smith after I think it was Florida, Tennessee, and we were talking about how in those elimination games you got to ride your ace until her arm falls off, and I think Coach Gasso is one of those coaches who's going to ride the ace until her arm falls off. We've seen that before when G Juarez went on that great run, and she was kind of throwing every meaningful pitch after the JMU loss in the World Series. So I think that we're going to see Sam Landry until Sam Landry can't throw no mo here in this World Series. And I think the same can be said for Lindsey Grine on the Oregon side. And the Luchars as well. Like, how does Emmerling handle them? Just, I think Oregon's the away team today, isn't that right? So they'll have the chance to truly make the first statement, and I just can't wait to see how Oklahoma defensively combats some of that speed.
It's going to, again, like I said, I think that's the key to Oregon winning this ball game, right? Is their speed on the base pass and how they take extra bases. They're really good at reading balls in the outfield and understanding, scoring from first. I think we might see that too. So that'll be the key to the Oregon Ducks winning this one for me. And then for Oklahoma, I think, again, we talked about having good at bats, but that lineup is so balanced, and they're used to hitting the ball out of the yard. They're used to having multiple extra base hits, and I don't think Kavan gave up an extra base hit yesterday at all. I think they were just singles. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but again, I think we'll see that offense turn around and be a little bit different today.
Grace is fact checking. And to the social media point as well, I'm not implying that like the entire team just immediately went to the locker room and sat on Twitter, but like the vibes are like, you can feel vibes in the stadium. And sometimes the vibes from social media can bleed into the in-person vibes. Lord knows I've seen that many times in my job. So I'm interested to see if we get angry OU today. How many times over the last half decade have we seen angry OU come out and just after they get punched in the face, not just punch you in the face, but knock you out? We might see that today. Or maybe this is the youth coming in. Who knows?
Thank you, Brady. She did not give up an extra base hit. Thanks, Brady. I thought we were chatting about that. I hear what you're saying, Gray, but I think it has to do with, as a team, their response has to do with the in game. I don't think it has to do with the crowd or the stands. I personally don't. You don't have to agree with me. That's okay.
Oh, no.
I'm just saying.
That was somebody bumped up against the door. I was like, who's coming in?
I was like, no, I don't. I just, again, I think it's an internal response, and obviously they'll go back and look at film and figure out, what they need to do better today. But it's what a day. What two great matchups. I wish we had more to talk about, but
I know.
That's it.
Are you ready for bold specific prediction of the day moment?
Sure.
What do you have anything? Would you like me to go first? I can go first.
You go first. I don't have any bold yet. I'm gonna get my pull into my brain. Let us know what your bold predictions are in the chat.
Okay, my super specific bold prediction of the day is a Taylor Panel home run late for Tennessee.
Ooh.
It'll either be to take the lead or tie the game. Yeah.
That is so specific. I think we're going to get a walk-off today.
Oh, who are our home teams? Oklahoma and is Oregon home? Oregon's home per Grace. Ooh, so who's the other one? UCLA or Tennessee?
I'm just saying, I think we're going to walk off another one.
Okay, I don't know. Grace can't find it. I don't know what's happening. I'll look. I don't know. Just we love a good dramatic pause.
Grace, are you there?
Okay. No. All right. Wait. I've checked ESPN. So the home teams are Oklahoma and Tennessee. So
that's what I thought. I was like,
I think, yeah, the NCAA website bracket is backwards. NCAA, we should fix
okay.
that. So
Yeah.
Oklahoma, Tennessee. You say there's a walk-off.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I love it.
I was pretty sure it was OU and Tennessee. That's why when she said, I was like,
Yeah.
well.
That's what I thought too. Okay. You're good, Grace. It's okay. NCAA. Blame the NCAA. Lots of people are doing
No,
it. All the cool kids do it. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I do think that we do get two epic games, and I can't wait. I can't wait to get there. I'm sure we're all going to depart our various locations and get to Devon Park quite
Ooh.
soon. And let's rock
Look
and
at the
roll,
chat.
Tara.
I think there's some fun. There's some fun predictions in the chat. I like these.
Oh, here we go. Our buddy Brandon.
Yeah.
OU starts Kirsten Deal and gets the win, and UCLA scores 5+ runs.
That is bold. Okay, Brandon, I like it. Hot take, Teresa. Not a close game.
Not. I assume we're talking about Oklahoma, Oregon there.
I don't know.
Ooh,
another one. UCLA and OU leaving the same day. Fang knows the home away rules by heart now. I love it, Fang. Fang knows the home away rules.
I love it. Yeah, if you've got a bold prediction, leave it in the chat and we can all check each other's work because y'all check us all the time. Let's all check each other. Let's see. Teresa, Pickering and Nelly will both have a great day. Yeah, Pickering has been quiet so far, and Nelly's been kind of quiet. Like even yesterday, kind of a miss hit when she reached in the 7th. Oregon 5+ stolen bases. That's from Fang. Jeff just drops 2 fire emojis. Here for that. And Trilinda is calling me out.
Yeah, Trilinda, my coffee's on the other side of the room, so I can't. I gotta go grab it too.
Brady, all good stuff. Pickering is due. What content? Let's see. We're gonna cook out some stuff. Grace, do we have anything coming out today that?
Just released a really good interview with Charlie Orsini's mom.
Yes. Grace sat down with Charlie Orsini's mom. Check it out on the socials.
I think Nicole has 2 years.
Okay.
Working on tailgating stuff, possibly.
Okay. Yeah, Nicole's doing. I think that's where she just went actually to do tailgating stuff. And I am on a mission today to find and chat with Ralph Weekly. I know he's here. I've seen him once, but Coach, I'm coming for you. We're gonna chat. I'm gonna mic you up, and because I want to get the perspective of like he did this as a coach so many times. I'm pretty sure I know what the answer is, but I want to hear it from him. Is it more stressful to be down on the field coaching or sitting wherever he's sitting, just like watching his wife and the Lady Vols go to work? I want to hear. I like stuff like that. So we're gonna find Ralph Weekly. We're gonna find a lot of people here at the Women's College World Series. A lot of stuff on the socials, Tara, and everyone can see all these things if they do what?
Like and subscribe. And head on over to on3.com/softball. We've got loads of content up on the site there. Some new synergy videos are up on the site. And then on YouTube here, we're just trying to upload as many interviews and videos for you all to be a part of the week here in Oklahoma City. So if there's anything else that you want, hopefully you're enjoying each and every part of it, because again, this is the best time of the year. And if we can do more, please let us know. Oh, Brandon, thanks.
Oh, did we lose Tara? Tara's gone, or am I gone? It's possible either way. I'm gonna pull up YouTube. If Tara's gone, that's unfortunate because, well, James popped in with the Tara Coffee Fund. Let's see. Am I gone? Is Tara gone?
Tara's gone.
Okay. Well, then we will say goodbye to that square, and we will say goodbye from Softball America HQ. Glad that you were here. Thank you to Grace. Thank you to Tara. Thank you to everybody from Softball America. We'll be back tomorrow with GMSA. Oh, they're fireworks. We'll be talking about the semifinals. We'll be preparing you for everything that's going down on Monday. And we'll also talk about today's games. Make sure you follow all the socials. Make sure you stay up to date on everything that's coming down the pike on YouTube, on X, on the gram, everywhere. And we'll see you a little bit later on. Turn those TVs on. ABC Day. We got UCLA, Tennessee, 3 Eastern, 2 Central. For Tara, I've been Gray. We'll see you next time on Good Morning Softball America.